Welcome in, Battlers. I'm JigglyDad, and this is my interview with hero Vange. He's best known for his meta-simplified guides on YouTube, and he's one of my favorite Pokemon Go PvP content creators. I hope you enjoy the interview. Welcome in, everybody. I had to debate with myself whether I should open the video with "Hello, everybody. It is I, JigglyDad," but I didn't think that I could pull it off quite like our guest with his iconic intros. So welcome in our guest today, Hero Vange. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great.
And how should I refer to you, sir? Should I just call you Hero? Should I call you Vange? What's the easy, quick shorthand for you?
Just Vange. Vange is fine.
All right. So what was your name in the game before PvP came out? Surely your name was not BattleHero PvP, so you got to give the viewers some insight. What was the original IGN for Hero?
I don't even remember what it was, but I think it was like Hero Vange something.
Was it?
Maybe it was like Hero Vange something. I don't know. I don't remember.
You just threw the PvP on the end?
Yeah, because BattleHero was taken.
All right. And so that's the YouTube channel is BattleHero, right? So what's the reasoning for the difference there? Why did you decide to go with BattleHero?
I actually have a bigger YouTube channel, but it's dead now.
Bigger but dead.
Named Hero Vange with like 100,000 subscribers. And I actually tried to pivot that channel to I guess Pokemon Go, but it would never work out. It's because the old community that existed on that channel never really accepted that game, right? So with the way that YouTube is, it kind of like sends it to your subscribers first to kind of like test it if people actually want to watch it before they send it to other people. And because the people who were subscribed to me wouldn't watch it, it would never fly, right? So I decided to make a different channel, and I just decided to revive one of my old channels, which was actually named Fight Realm. It was named Fight Realm before, and I changed the name to Battle Hero because I don't know. I thought it was cool.
What was your start with making videos? What games did you start with? What made you start making YouTube videos in the first place?
I started making YouTube videos because I was bored. I was studying. Yeah, I was really bored in life, and I was studying something. At the time, I was studying something that was really serious, but actually very mentally taxing. I was studying to be a doctor, and I was bored, and I was bored. I was really bored, and I said one day, I was like, I need something like a hobby. I need a hobby in my life, right? And I started to make reviews of mobile games a long time ago, and then I kind of like focused in on one game that kind of picked up. Its name is Growtopia, but I stay away from it. It's a bad game. And yeah, that's kind of like how that started.
And was that game a game that you were into at the time, or you just like kind of picked it at random?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Big time. That it's kind of like a Minecraft clone, but it's 2D. And
like Terraria maybe, or
it's like Terraria, but it's online, so people can come into your world and hang out.
And it's still a thing.
It's still a thing.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I wouldn't even look into it. But at the time when I started playing that game, there was no PvP system, right? And my channel picked up because I made the PvP system in that game. So yeah.
Were there any other games that were really big in your? You said that. I think I've seen several times where you say this is the third time you've worked on building a YouTube channel. What was the other time?
Well, I tried making Let's Plays, but that's a very saturated thing. It's just there's too many people making stuff like that. And I guess I tried a bunch of different other online games like Warframe, Fortnite, like a whole bunch of different games, but nothing really like picked up as well as the first game that I played. And yeah, Pokemon Go currently.
What was it about Pokemon Go that got you? Were you playing the game from day one and you just decided to make the videos once PvP came around, or did the PvP part really bring you into the game? What was the story there?
I started playing very early, but not day one, right? But at the time, my life was very serious because I was studying to be a doctor at the time, and I could play a little bit, but not a lot, not really a lot. And so I dropped the game because it does require you to go outside, and I didn't have the time to do that. So I dropped it, and then after when I graduated, I decided to pick it up, start playing again. But I was kind of like bored at the time because there was I felt that there was no point in me playing because there was no end game, right? You would go out, you would grind, you would catch monsters, power up raid Pokemon, battle the raids down to get what? A raid monster that'll make your raids like a couple of seconds faster.
Right.
So I felt like it was so pointless. And so I dropped the game until I diagnosed, well, my friend, I have a best friend, and me and him always hang out. And he at the time was very, maybe this was like a year ago, all like maybe almost 2 years ago, but he was very unhealthy at the time. And he came to me. He was like, "Yo, can you take a look at me? I am experiencing like a lot of headaches." And I checked his blood pressure, and it was really high for his age, very high for his age. And I was like, "You're hypertensive." And he's like,
Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff.
because he's quite young. And then I said, we should do something to get more healthy. Let's go out. Let's go out. And he said, he's like, didn't you used to play Pokemon Go? Maybe we should start playing again. So I have like a reason to go out because he's a big gamer type of person, right? And I'm like, sure, all right. So at the time it was like November 2018, I think it was, and PvP was just about to release. And when PvP came out, I got really into the game. I started to feel like, oh, there's actually like a reason to play now. I can go out, catch Pokemon to fight people. So that's where that started.
I mean, do you find that the game is a better game to play because it's like you say, it's a healthier kind of thing? I mean, personally, I know that I have actively stopped playing other games just because I know that at least if I'm occupying myself with this, that I can like fool myself into thinking that it's good for me. Is there
Yeah,
I mean, do you actively think about that part of it, or is it more
I
just
do.
yeah.
I do. But not currently because my the Philippines is on lockdown. We're not
Right,
allowed to
yeah.
go outside. We're discouraged, and there's like a tight curfew, right? Um, but when we were going out, we would kind of go hardcore. I would get really sweaty, and it would be like a hardcore grind type thing. So yes,
So how has where you live played into how you play the game? Do you think does where you live in the Philippines, either on a micro level or a macro level, like do you have good grind spots where you are? Have you been one of those people that did something with Ingress or did some stop submissions to make where you play better, or is it kind of Spartan? How is it?
I've never played Ingress. Every time I look at it,
Yeah,
I,
I'm the same.
I don't understand what it is.
Exactly.
But the place where I live is very blessed. There's a lot of stops. There's a lot of spawns. And yeah, it's really good for playing Pokemon Go. So I'm I have no idea what it is like in the rural world, but you could consider this place like super good for Pokemon Go. There's a lot of spawns.
I know that you've talked about how your internet isn't very good, and
Oh, my internet is garbage.
is
It's
it just your
absolutely.
Wi-Fi? Is it your data as well? Does it depend where you are? Like, is it always a challenge, or more so just for PvP?
It's you see, the thing is, I tried to do Twitch streaming as well, right? Explore all the options and stuff. And my Wi-Fi would be so bad that I got to the point where I would hit like 400 concurrent viewers, but then my stream would all of a sudden just stop.
Yeah.
All of a sudden just stop. That it's kind of like embarrassing, like having to restart my stream over and over. Like in an hour, I would be restarting my stream like maybe 5 times, and then like 1 hour, nice stream, and then again with like so many technical problems. So I figured that the whole Twitch thing was not for me. So that's kind of like how bad the internet is. I don't know how bad is the internet here. Whenever I watch YouTube videos, I mean it's not that bad, but I guess it depends
It's
on
probably
what
more
you're
the
doing. I
upstream.
guess
Yeah.
it depends. Yeah.
So how did you come up with the intro? I think I remember like when you first did your videos. I remember there was kind of a process that you went through, and it was
Uh
almost
huh.
like you were feeling out kind of like what people's tolerance was in terms of like the expressiveness, where like
Oh man.
especially at the end of the videos, I remember you'd be like, bye guys, and you'd like there was a real
Bye.
like a
Oh
really
yeah, 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 yeah.
really punchy thing going on there, and now you've kind of settled in where like all
Yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
intros and all your outros are kind of the same thing. Was that
Mhm.
kind of a difficult process, or was that easy for you? Did that
No, that was really easy
yeah.
because people on the internet are very vocal, and I kind of just I run with it. Oh, it's too loud. Okay, I'm good. I'll tone it down. Good for the vocals as well. So yeah.
You seem to have settled at some point on the style of video where you're using kind of Photoshop as
Mhm.
the backdrop for it, and just using like the transparencies and layers for doing that. Was that
Mhm.
more of a practical thing? Was that like a stylistic thing? Was it just something like that was what worked for you immediately, and you just thought, "Hey, this works. I'm gonna go with it." How did that develop?
Yeah, it's because I know Photoshop, so that's kind of like it's my comfort tool to use, right? For I guess I could do the videos in a different way, but I would have to learn a different thing. And I feel like it's a waste of time if I already have Photoshop knowledge, right? So it's kind of just what I know.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I would say as a general matter, your videos like you tend
Mm.
to err on the side of like less is more, but like you always present the information in like a clear way. Like, your backdrop is just like your white wall. You always go for the consistent lighting, and you've got the Photoshop thing going. But I mean, it's like I think that it often tends to be the case that less is more. Is that really kind of your approach to it, or is it just kind of that's just how it ended up, and you didn't give it too much thought?
You're starting to make me feel like I need to have stuff on my wall, but
No,
it's
no, not at all.
the no, no, but the focus of the video, right, is to provide information, and that has always been my focus.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I guess the other stuff doesn't really matter if the delivery of the content, which is the information, is efficient. So
It seems to me that that humor has always been like a big part of what you try to do. Like you always seem to
mm-hmm,
throw in at least a few zingers in most of your videos. I know that there've been
mm-hmm.
some that have just really had me rolling. I think the Toxicroak one was one of my
Now
favorites.
within the group, Skuntank beats Alolan Mug. Okay, so yeah, left or right. But now let's actually answer the question that is most likely on your mind, right? Are those briefs on Toxicroak? I think so. I think so. Where's Drapion? Where is Drapion? What briefs? Where's Drapion? Drapion's supposed to be there.
I mean,
He's
have you
supposed
always just been kind of like a humorous kind of guy? Do you have to think real hard about what kind of jokes you're going to deliver? Do you do a bunch of
Mm-hmm.
takes and you just kind of throw the ones that work to you in there?
Well, I was I actually wasn't a very humorous person until recently. And I think it's because I whenever I'm recording my videos, whenever I'm running through the simulations and talking through whatever it is that I have to talk through, I get bored. I get bored of myself. I get bored of doing whatever it is that I do, watching it on the editing software over and over again to get the cut, to get the thing, to make sure that I have the information displayed. I get really bored. And so when I get bored, I'm pretty sure other people are gonna get bored because I get bored of myself. So whenever I feel bored, I'm like, I gotta do something. This is really boring. So I guess it's more of a I guess it's more of a trying to entertain myself type of thing. More of a, oh, I'm trying to be funny for my videos. The humor is not really I also not really a focus. It's more of a, how do I get through this without how do I get through this video um without hating myself more.
Oh, jeez.
So
That's dark.
let me try to let me try to make a little bit of a joke. So yeah, that's kind of like where that comes from, I think, because
Yeah.
I get bored watching my own videos.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Sometimes you can.
especially if it's like if it's one where I'm tired
Right.
and I don't have any I can't really think of any jokes, and I just go on and on and on, and the simulation says this, you have to block this. It's so boring. So yeah,
Yeah, sometimes I
that's
can sense that when you're delivering the jokes that it might be like when you're at your most tired and you just
oh yeah, I get really tired making those videos, dude.
it,
Legit.
yeah. It seems like for the most part you haven't branched out uh
Hmm.
beyond the battle videos at this point. Like I think there were a couple times where you had vlogs. There was one recently which was
Man.
more like
Hmm.
not the interview. It was the you kind of talking about your thought process and you're showing like the water damage in your house and stuff. Like do you feel like there's other kinds of videos that you really want to explore more and you just haven't really gotten into it, or is it really
Oh
just your
yeah,
comfort zone doing what you do?
dude. I wish I could make better content. I've always been trying to make more engaging, more entertaining content. Also content that entertains me when I record it, right? Not just running through simulations, running through battles, running through basic lines in Go Battle League, running through basic strategies that people probably have figured out now, right? But I wish I could make something that really moves people. That's kind of like been a goal of mine ever since I started doing YouTube more seriously. More seriously. That's kind of like been a goal. Um, I feel like even though with the way that YouTube is right now, it's really favoring PvP content. If you look at the views, Zionic, FP Sticks, King, they're killing it. They're really killing it. They're actually overtaking a lot of the old vlog style
Right.
videos for Pokemon Go.
Right.
It's taken over, right? Especially basically Go Battle League, right? And you don't have to put a lot of effort into it. But it doesn't, like watching the battle videos don't really engage you as much as making like a really good vlog.
Right.
I feel like the people who are making vlog type content, the people who aren't getting a lot of views right now, it's it's because they've settled into like a certain style where it's just automatic. I feel the same about my content. I feel like, oh, my content's just, it's automatic. I do the research, I run the simulations, and I highlight important facts. It's all automatic. So I get really bored doing the same content over and over and over again every every month, right? For self content. For Go Battle League, there's some hype there because there's like a risk that I'm not gonna get a video, or it's gonna be really bad. And I kind of like, I'm waiting for the set where I get 0-5 in Go Battle League, and it's so bad that I could make like a lot of jokes, but it doesn't really move you as much as, let's say, if you were watching a video about somebody doing, let's say, cliff diving for the first time in their life and they peed their pants. That would be hilarious. That would kill, that you would be dead. It wouldn't move you as much as, let's say, I don't know, other stuff, right? And I want to try to push to make that content, but how do I marry that with what I'm known for right now, which is making informational guides? That's a challenge. That's a really big challenge.
What do you think it contributed to your success in this particular area? Do you think it's just your willingness to spend the time putting in all the research? What do you think it is that differentiates you from anybody else that's tried to do this? I mean, there's certainly some others who've had success, but I personally feel like the format's kind of defined by the way you do it.
Wow, that is a massive compliment. Thank you. But I feel like, why did I stand out?
Yeah.
Is it that is your question? Why did
Yeah.
I stand out on YouTube? Well, I feel like it's because I package the information more efficiently compared to other people, right? And I guess, and I don't know. I feel like I got lucky as well. I feel like I was there at the right time. And that's kind of like how YouTube is sometimes, right? You were there at the right time, where when people were watching and they just kind of got used to seeing you, or they like you. They kind of like latched onto you, hooked onto your personality, and that's kind of like how your channel grows. I would say though now that my channel has flattened, right? It isn't really growing. I'm basically getting the same amount of views that I was getting from the same. It's basically the same crowd, right? Which is, I'm pretty happy that I have like a steady, stable viewership, and I'm very, very happy that I actually have that stable viewership. Plus, the community is fantastic. Um, but I also wish that I could push for other things. Maybe not PvP related, but right now it's not really the time because my country is on lockdown, right? But yeah, I hopefully in the future I'll get to experiment. But yeah, so to answer your question, why did I pick up on YouTube? I feel like I got lucky. I put in the work. I gave it my all. Efficient, informational, little bit entertaining sometimes,
I think so.
sometimes cringy. Uh,
It can be
and
both.
then I got lucky. I just got picked up by a lot of people, and they just started sharing my stuff, which is fantastic. So.
I want to focus a little bit on that video I was talking about. The one, I guess it was a little bit of a vlog, but an indoor vlog. But a lot of things went down there that kind of, I assume, are going to define you going forward. First off, how's the water damage? How's the house doing? Have you been able
Not
to do
fixed,
anything about nothing?
because we're not allowed to have any people come into the building because of the lockdown.
Right.
That's everywhere. So yeah, my girlfriend gave me a haircut last week.
My wife did
And
the
it's
same.
looking kind of dude, I wish I could shave my head.
You were talking about doing other kinds of content, really wanting to, kind of take things to the next level. Do you have thoughts in your mind that you're kind of waiting to hatch? What do you have in mind that you think is going to be like taking the content to the next level? It sounds like you really are kind of like you said a nudie artist or something to that effect. But I mean, like I understand what you're saying, where it's like you want to do something more. You want to do something that keeps you from getting bored. That's one of the reasons why I do this kind of stuff instead of just like coming on stream and just battling every night, because I'd much rather like engage with the community and like talk to different people and that sort of thing.
Oh, the community is amazing.
Right.
Pokemon Go PvP community
Definitely.
is the best ever. It's the best community I've ever been a part of.
Yeah.
What I was planning on experimenting with vlogging, right? And making vlogs that weren't related to Pokemon Go. Well, kind of like ease it in. of course, have some Pokemon Go content, but also kind of uh focus more on other things that I might want to show people, right? But that's impossible right now.
Yeah.
That is, it's not a thing right now. So yeah, maybe when all of this is done, hopefully the curve flattens everywhere, and bans and restrictions get lifted, then maybe, yeah, maybe, yeah. But it's a difficult thing, right? How I feel about Pokemon Go PvP. It's so difficult to compete with other games as an esport, and really what you're competing against is things like Fortnite, right? Things that are really fun to watch. Have you ever like watched have you ever gotten into like first person shooters or like third person shooters?
My son's obsessed with Fortnite, and I played it for maybe
Yeah.
like a year, but it's not my thing. But I'm an old dude. I'm like beyond
Uh,
that. I can't compete with the kids and their fast twitch reflexes.
Dude, same. Also my internet. Also my internet,
Right,
man.
exactly.
I can't compete. If you watch some of the highest level Fortnite players, the moment that they get 30 ping, oh man, they can feel it already,
Right.
right? And when I was playing first person shooters, I would get like 300 ping, and I would feel like, it's fine, it's good.
Right, it's all the same.
It, it's all it's a mutual lag, but no. But basically, Pokemon Go PvP is competing with all these games that are really fun to watch, right? And it's difficult for it to compete with these games as an esport, just because Pokemon is an established brand, right? Just because it's right now, it's holding on to what it is because Pokemon is an established brand, right? But the game itself, if you take a look at it, right, really take a look at the gameplay compared to other games, even mobile games, even, let's say, Brawl Stars. What is the League of Legends for mobile? I don't even know. But yeah, even like mobile shooters, it you can't even compare, right? But the nice thing about the Pokemon Go PvP is it seems like Niantic's trying, but it's difficult because I don't understand Niantic that well. I don't Sometimes the stuff that they put out, I feel like it's just there to trigger people so that they do stuff on Twitter so that they get a little bit of I don't understand it sometimes. It makes no sense. And yeah, they're making moves. Sometimes it's just not the best for the game, but they're making moves at least, right? It looks like they're focused on it. It looks like they're trying to improve it. Hopefully it gets to the point where it can compete with other games. But right now it's looking kind of rough, right? Just with the way that um battling is, and also with the way that it's how you get matched up to people, the rewards, the Stardust grind. There's just so much to it. It's like a lot of work for a not so exciting looking battle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm really hoping that it gets there. But it's so difficult because I don't understand Niantic as a company. I don't it's They're not like other companies where if you're making like a ton of money in the like with Fortnite, right? If they when they started to make a ton of money, what was the first thing that they did? What was their big announcement come 2019? We're putting in a buttload of money into esports. All right, come compete in our tournaments. We're gonna make it hype. Confetti's gonna drop from the ceiling and cover all the people when you win. Oh my god. So people got hyped. People started paying coaches for their children for Fortnite, and a bunch of kids won Fortnite because they have faster reflexes. But that's not gonna happen for Pokemon Go because what has Niantic been doing? Oh, yo, we're gonna put out some new Pokecoins. What was it? The Pokecoin tasks. You're gonna get 5 Pokecoins if you finish like 50. Excuse me, manly voice. If you finish 50 tasks in a day, we'll give you 5 extra coins. All right, hype, hype, hype.
Right. Oh
Of
yeah.
course not. That's really trash. That's really oh my god. What is it?
So what do you think of the way that they've handled the pandemic situation generally? Like, I would say that that's got to be the biggest whiff that they've had recently, but do you think that otherwise they've handled like even the non-PvP stuff at least fairly well, or are you still not giving them a pass on that?
Well, I can play at home.
Right.
That's nice. I can't play for very long. I hop into my phone. I catch whatever's there. I spin the stop if I can reach it. I send gifts to friends, but allegedly what did I say? Jimma Banks is I said Jimmy Banks. Jimma Banks is gonna make a list of the top 10 worst gift openers, and I'm actually one of them. So yeah, but I basically do whatever I can when I play the game, right? And then I hop onto, I don't know, anime, other things, right? Because there's not a lot to do with the vanilla aspect of the game, but the vanilla aspect of the game never really excited me, right? Never really excited me. Maybe the meeting the people, making friends, that was always a nice thing, right? You have to, because you have to get through the raids, right? To get the Pokemon that you use to make the raids a little bit faster by a couple of seconds. But it, like, the actual game wasn't really something like, oh man, I could play this like 10 hours straight walking, no water, all right? It wasn't really something like a, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The PvP thing was really hype at the start, right? I was like, oh, I can fight people now. But after getting through, see, I've developed like a system for Silph Arena PvP where you will definitely improve, right? And you'll have like a way to improve yourself objectively. For Go Battle League, it's, I don't know, I feel like it's a guessing game. So wait, just going back to the I'm so sorry,
You're
man.
good.
I just
You're
keep
good.
jumping around to
You're
the,
fine.
yeah. But going back to the topic, I feel like they've improved it as much as they can. If they could increase the spawns near my house, that would be nice. But uh, it's good for what it is. It's a band-aid, so it's fine.
Right. I know one of my reactions recently has been that I think that Niantic is probably thinking more about PvP just because they know that it's one of the aspects of the game that people can actually engage with right now. It's one of the angles that they can make money off right now. But I do think that they're struggling from a lot of misses. What do you think that they can do to improve the game, or do you think
Oh
that
my
it
god, dude.
almost needs to be like a restart? Like, I mean, we all enjoy what we've got right now on some level,
Mhm.
but we all acknowledge its limits. Do you think that they can take what they've got, warts and all, and actually, tweak it and fix it, or do you think it's got to pretty much like start from scratch?
Well, I don't know much about game development, right?
Right.
Um, so this is just coming from a person who's played a lot of games.
Right.
But I feel like the main series competitive battling scene is a lot more competitive compared to Pokemon Go. Like, a lot more competitive. But it's also kind of flawed with the way that it is. I feel like what makes a competitive game really exciting is the fact that you're on equal footing when you start, which is very difficult, right? With Pokemon Go, with things that you, with these types of games where you have to build yourself up and then battle other people that have built themselves up as well, right? Whether it be like an MMO type of thing, or yeah, something like Pokemon Go. So something that makes it exciting is that you're on equal footing, and at any point in time, a low level player can kill like a really high level player. I feel like that is something that makes a game really exciting. So stuff like Fortnite, you drop in, you're all naked, you don't have anything, right? You run into a house, you try your best to pick up a gun, and then you kill the guy who is probably in the same house, right? But like, during that whole interaction, both of you are on equal footing, right? You just try to get lucky with your pulls with the guns, right? But that's so difficult with Pokemon. It's so difficult with Pokemon, and with the way that it has been established for years. Is that even possible? I don't think so, right? Is there a way for Pokemon to make it that big, like Fortnite big, I don't think so with the way that it is right now, right? I don't think so with the way that it has settled in with what it is basically, right? So it's hard. Is there like a way to improve it? That's something I can't answer because I don't know anything about game development. I don't know anything about, you know what I mean? Can you
Right.
make a Pokemon Go FPS where you're like Ampharos and you can throw Volt Witches? That's I
I think one of the tensions that's there is that it is, of course, a mobile game, so most people are playing it over either Wi-Fi or their data plan, and they're playing it worldwide, so there's all sorts of lag issues there, and it's not turn-based in the same way that the main series games are, where like something actually pauses and something else happens. Would you be
Mhm.
would you be more excited if they truly fixed the game in the sense that you didn't have to worry about lag and all the glitches in it, but
Oh.
then it turned
Oh
into
yeah, 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 yeah.
something that was truly like turn based? Or do you think that would like turn you off to the point where it
Ooh.
wasn't interesting anymore? Because
I don't know.
it's a really hard I think it's a really hard situation for them to fix, where they keep it fast paced and it doesn't have like a billion glitches. But like, what do you think? You seem like you're really interested in it being like more
Dude,
fast paced.
this is a really great conversation, but I feel like if you want to do competitive gaming really well, you have to make it so if your game is slow, that each decision that you make is has massive impact, right? Let me give you an example. With Hearthstone, which is probably like the slowest competitive game that's popular, right? It's a card game. You just, you make a decision, right?
Right.
It's a slow game. But if you make the wrong choice, right? You're fucked.
Right.
You're you're you get wrecked. And then your opponent is gonna taunt you and it's gonna be funny for the crowd, right? You can go with that. You can go down that route, or you can go the really fast-paced route, which is like the Fortnite, PUBG, what else? Like other FPS, right? Fortnite, I can't even understand what the hell they do now. Have you tried to watch like a Fortnite esports thing? They're in a box and then they,
Right.
I
That's why
don't
I'm no good at the
understand the
game.
thing. I don't know. It used to be like build a square thing just like this, just to build a thing like this. You're good. Hide it up top. Now people tunnel through the damn boxes, and I'm like, how do you know that it's your box? How do you? I can't, it's too fast, dude. You have
Right.
to you have to kind of become superhuman in a sense, right? To be good at it, so you can go down either route. But I feel like what's more natural for Pokemon is going down the slow route, but that kind of like defeats the nice flow that they have right now. But make how can it's kind of like partially turn based right now though. So
Right.
how can you really make that a fast paced thing? I feel like it's gonna be unnatural. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like going down the slow route would be the more important, well, the more natural feeling thing. But again, I've never studied game development, so
Right. Yeah, I mean,
I
it just
don't know.
just from a logical perspective, I mean, having never designed the things either, though, you just think about it. If the turns are like half a second, then it doesn't take a whole lot of problems with your data to disrupt the flow of the game, and we've all seen the way that can be. Which, I mean, it segues very very well into the issue of your internet and you deciding not to do regionals because they ended up being remote. um, that was really the thing that when I was doing this, and I contacted you a few weeks ago, I was like, this is like
uh,
probably the most, not newsworthy in our community, the most newsworthy kind of thought process that I could think of. Like,
topic.
you were, yeah, topic. You were giving up the idea of even bothering to compete in regionals. You wanted to focus on the content, helping other people, both because you thought it was better for you, right? For your, just like your
Oh
mental
yeah, yeah,
state,
yeah,
because
dude.
it just your frustration level. I think
Yeah,
we've
I was
I think
so
we've all been
frustrated.
there. and just it seemed like it was practically just pointless for you to do the remote regionals. Like, how do you feel after the fact about the whole scene there, whether it's the fact that you didn't do it, the fact that they did go and do them remotely at all? How do you feel about all of that?
Dude, I felt like I missed out so much, man. I felt like I was a referee for the regionals, and man, it's because my friend is the my friend is one of the hosts for the, well, actually is the host for the biggest tournament in the Philippines, right? And he got the regionals from Silph, and he was like, yeah, be a judge. And I joined like 2 days. I joined the judging panel like 2 days before regionals, and on the day he said, "Okay, you're a high judge." So what do you mean by high judge? That means you just decide. You decide. Okay, if nobody else can decide, you decide. I'm like, I don't want to do that. But I was already there. Like the tournament was already happening, and I had no choice, right? So I gave it my best, but I felt like I missed out. I felt like I really wanted to play at that. I felt at the time that I shouldn't have done this because there was a lot of lag. There was a lot of lag, but yeah, I guess it was playable. I'm not sure. I don't know, but I felt regret because of my decision to pull out. So yeah.
I mean, looking at your Silph card, I think it seems like you haven't done any tournaments in a little while. So
Yeah. I'm not. I decided not to do any more tournaments
right,
until season 3. But that's actually been kind of helpful for all the stuff that I've been doing, because I feel like I do like so much. I do a lot, dude.
right.
Like the videos, that takes a lot of time. And then I have coaching, and coaching takes a lot of time as well. And also I'm trying to build a master league team right now, so that whenever master league rolls in, I can actually play Go Battle League. Yeah, that's another thing. But how can I grind right now? It's so difficult. So yeah.
Trying to grind right now to build a master league team, that's definitely got to be rough.
Yeah.
So you say that you felt regret over that. Do you think that it did help your content? You talked something about how there's a tension between being a content creator and having people kind of like, snipe your strats and just
Oh
know
yeah,
what
yeah,
you're
yeah.
doing, or just kind of know how you think. Do you think that it's been of a benefit to your content, or are you not really sure how that's gone yet?
Yeah, I feel like the content is much better compared to before, when I was trying to hide the strats. When I was trying to hide the strats, I felt like there was, I don't know. I feel like I could have made better videos. But when I let that go and I started like putting out how I actually build teams, like the process of how I make the teams, right? How I check the balance, how I increase the coverage, and also how I, do all that stuff, right? I feel like I was able to take people to like the next level, right? But yeah, I do I miss playing Pokemon Go PvP in the tournaments? I do. I really do. I really do. But I already made the decision. I don't want to like go back and play season 2 right now, because I missed out on a couple of tournaments. So I'm not really gonna rank that high, I guess. So yeah, I just feel like I feel regret, but I also feel happy that I made that decision. So yeah,
That's
mixed
mixed feeling. That's good.
mixed feelings.
Um, so when it comes to when a new meta comes out, do you have kind of two different thought processes that are going on in your head? Do you have a thought process for how you're going to solve the meta for making a video and how you're going to do it
Mhm.
for yourself personally? Or is it all
No,
kind
no,
of
no, no,
one
no.
holistic thing where you're just doing all the work and you're thinking about it in one process, and
Hmm.
you used to hide like certain nuggets that you thought were maybe your secret advantage?
I used to do this thing where if I was able to make a, it's all one process. I'm sorry, it's all
It's
one
all good.
process. I try to study everything that looks attractive, and then I make a meta simplified guide out of that, right? I highlight the things that I found out, and I share the information with people. What I used to hide was, whenever I would make a team and make a really good team, I wouldn't show it in my videos, right? So right now, example for Forest Cup, right? There's really good synergy with um Quagsire, Quagsire, Blaziken, and Ampharos. Some really tight teams are like I've seen a lot of tight teams with that core. And if I found that out a long time ago, like when if I was still competing, I would hide that from people
Right.
and just put that out when I finish my tournament. So that would kind of be the way that I would do that.
All right. That kind of segues into what do you feel about the elite TM system? And I'm going to guess, since you're not participating right now, that you're trying to hold on to anything you might get until later. I don't know if you, I assume you bought the Community Day box. I assume you're anticipating getting the one for Go Battle League. So do you have those spent in your mind? Are you thinking I'm going to be better off for next season or GBLs by holding on to those? You didn't build a Stone Edge Blaziken, right?
No. I'm saving it. I'm saving it. Plus, I don't think that it's necessary. So,
right.
I didn't build it. So I just held on to the TMs.
What do you think about the idea of the system as they designed it? Do you think that it solves more problems than it fixes? Do you think that it's just kind of another Band-Aid? What do you think about it?
I wish that all the TMs work that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think that we'll get to the point maybe within the next year or two where that's the only kind of TM that they have? Or do you think they're going to hold on? They're going to always hold those on like a very premium item?
Yes, because it's money.
So when the cups do come out, what's the first thing that you do in terms of preparation? Do you immediately start looking at sims? Do you kind of look at what you've got? Do you how do you assess a new meta when it first comes out?
I go immediately to pvpoke.com and I check the top 50, right? I pull up multiple windows in my browser and I just start to go at it. When I get bored of doing that, I go into Discord and I just read through everything in Go Stadium, everything, just whatever people are thinking, right? And then I look, if something looks interesting, because I usually miss out on a lot of Pokemon, right? Uh, on my first pass, then I go back to PvPoke because that thing usually excites me, and then I go to Reddit, But usually, the thing is now Reddit has died, right? Silph Arena Reddit is full of Go Battle League stuff. It's not about the Silph Arena Cups anymore. But if you look, it's full of Go Battle League stuff. Yeah, so I look at everything, and then when something excites me, I'm like, what the frick? Camerupt? Go back to the Sims.
I know we have YTX Pikachu in the chat somewhere, and he's someone who does a lot of work with like the data and that sort of thing. And I know that he tells me he has some sort of scripting that he uses to try and run all the matchups. What do you do in terms of a process for coming to the conclusions that you do where like this matchup is IV dependent, this matchup isn't? Is it just like you manually putting stuff in and just going through that painful process? Or do you have something where you put in like, you know, attack weighted IVs, balanced IVs, you know, perfect IVs? Like how do you assess that stuff? Or do you kind of rely on other people to find those breakpoints and then you report them?
I feel like a really stupid person, but yes, I do all of that stuff manually, and then I go through, I make notes, and then I make my meta-simplified guide. And I just saw that he commented. He was like, I can quickly make a meta-simplified, just hit me up. I'm like, dang, why has this never come up before? So yeah,
I know when
I do it all manually.
Whenever something new comes out now, he sends me data. He'll send me like stuff on, you know, he'll send me weird graphs, box plots with lines going between things, and they look like kind of primitive simplified guides, if you will, but they're not as simplified. I think the key to what you do is the fact that it's simplified. The things he sends me are usually like, you know, it's got 21 to 30 mons on it or something, and it's not exactly simplified. But maybe he can do something with you in the future to kickstart your process by giving you some of those. But it's
with everything that you put out on YouTube, I feel like it won't gain any success if you don't add a human factor to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? If people see it and it's all like numbers, and it's not gonna put it on. If it's all numbers, just put it on an image and post it somewhere, right? But if you're making a YouTube video, you have to be entertaining enough that the people will watch all the way through.
On that same video that I was talking about, you talked about how long it takes you to do these videos, and I think that the number you settled on was something about like 60 to 70 hours for a series for a meta. So I
for
guess
the whole thing, yeah.
So that would be about like per month. So kind of like a full-time job for a couple weeks or something along those lines.
Yeah.
So obviously you said you made the one comment that you kind of felt the need to explain, that you felt like you were close to giving up on it, but you said that it wasn't that serious, dude. And you said that you got a lot of feedback from that. Do you ever, I mean, clearly you've got to get tired of this. You say you get bored watching yourself editing your own videos, especially if you don't, put the humor in there. So what kinds of things have you done to keep yourself motivated to keep making new content?
Actually, right now, because I'm not competing in the tournaments, and because I feel like I want to compete in the tournaments, I just, that all disappeared. I just feel like I want to make more videos, right? So right now, like because I'm not competing, the burnout just disappeared. I'm like, make another deep dive, make another episode. So yeah,
you've been making a lot recently. I've definitely noticed that the videos have been coming very quickly recently.
Yeah, and with those ones, the deep dives, because I already made the meta-simplified guide takes that long, but for the deep dives, I'd say like 1 hour I can finish one of those. So yeah,
the new art style that you've got going on with like the line art and the glowing eyes, is that your work, or is that somebody else's?
Yeah, that's my work. That's my work.
I like it. I personally like it a lot. So I just didn't know if you poached that from somewhere. There's everybody doing all sorts of wacky different versions of Pokemon, and I thought that was a take that I hadn't seen.
But have you seen King's thumbnails?
Yeah,
man, they're good. Yeah. Wow, they're so good.
Yeah, I don't know who does.
I don't know.
I don't think he does. I don't think he's a graphic artist, but I'm not sure who does those.
I also don't know, but they look good, really good. I feel like they're like hand drawn or something. This is so good.
Yeah,
so good. Yeah.
Oh, somebody, Lapras Logan says Palamon does the editing work on that.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So well, he has an editor now. Oh, dang.
Yeah, I think he's been getting some multiple people helping him out recently as he's been.
That's good.
Up.
That's good, because that's not really his strong suit, right? His strong suit is really analysis, data, right?
So
and being a little bit low key kind of funny. Right. He's an interesting guy, man. Interesting guy.
A slightly different sense
a lot of
humor
people
than yourself.
Yeah, dude. A lot of people approach me. I get a lot of people like approaching me in the tournaments, right? Saying like, dude, your videos were so helpful because I can't stay awake for King's videos, right? But then in the back of my head, I'm like, you don't find him funny? I don't say anything. I just say like, thanks,
right.
Thank you. But I find him so funny. I find him really funny. So yeah.
Yeah, I can relate to both sides. Like, I think that your videos are definitely more engaging, but I mean, certainly when he started doing his live streams on YouTube early on, like, I thought that was probably the best place to get kind of the up to the minute kind of information where it's like this isn't stale info. He's not going to just kind of pad it with nonsense. He's probably not even going to talk that much, but he's going to, the things that you hear him say and the things that you see him do are going to actually be, you know, worthwhile in that moment. And it's not going to be like a week old information because somebody had to edit. And so, I mean, that was great. But then you have to like invest in that long stream, and you have to kind of like listen for the nuggets. And when he dropped the nuggets, I mean, they're definitely funny, but you gotta be ready.
I feel like it's with the way that he naturally is, right? So he's a very like quiet guy, right? Very serious. And then he has these moments where he kind of just he tries a little bit and it is hilarious. It's so funny, right? There's one time, and this kind of sucks because I feel like this is one of the reasons why he took a long break, right? But he had this one video. He was so disgusted at how shiny Gloom looks. He was like, "Oh, what is that Pokemon? Oh, that's disgusting." And I lost it. I lost it, dude. I lost it.
Right.
You're supposed to be the robot guy, the super, you know.
It's so fun. It's so funny.
And then that afternoon, he was like, "I'm taking a long break from making videos because some of the people in the community don't agree with my videos."
It must have been about Gloom looking.
When disgusting. He came back, he started hiding the names of the people so that I guess he could make a little bit more fun. But that was hilarious. So yeah,
man, that's funny. I don't think he will. I don't think he'll mind me sharing this. I've been trying to get different content creators in the community to do like little sound bites for me for my stream. And one of the things that I think he does that I find the most hilarious is when he just mutters to himself, "King, you're an idiot." Yeah. He just is like, "King, you're an idiot." And so I said, "Can you say, you know, Jiggly, you're an idiot?" And he wouldn't do it because he said he didn't want to insult anybody. But I really wanted that sound bite that just was King telling me I was an idiot when I did something wrong. So, but
you should know though that he is one of the most supportive content creators I know. Like he when I put out that video that you're talking about where I was like quitting, I was talking about like I can't take this meta-simplified garbage anymore. He hit me up. He's like, "Dude, are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then he just didn't reply anymore. But that's very caring because I think he also hit up Gemma, and Gemma also hit me up, and he was like, "King told me that you were having problems," and you know he's interesting character, man.
That just means Gemma didn't watch the video. We can give
Dude,
Gemma credit.
No, but I mean, I don't know.
I'm kidding. No, I agree. In general, the community is great, but certainly he's up there.
And also, you know, the thing about King is, I feel like nobody else is going to ever earn like enough street cred to beat him out. You know, because the stuff that he does for Pokemon Go PvP is absolutely crazy. Like he's the organizer guy. He's like, "Okay, I'll get you. All right, let's make a coaching thing on my stream. All right. Oh, you did like a 7-0. Let me highlight you on my channel." Like the stuff that he does for PvP, no one will be able to match. So yeah, he's really pushing for esports, Pokemon Go PvP, and having somebody like that on your side is actually like a big asset. So because he's like hyper focused on, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, no, I agree. And I mean, when he did take that break and it wasn't clear, you know, how long that would be, what that was about, that was my first reaction. And it kind of dovetails with some of the things that you said, was that he was the one that was really trying to push different avenues. He was trying to do things that nobody else wanted to do. And really what you were left with at the end of the day was a lot of people that were doing very similar things, a lot of people that were just battling. You know, there wasn't really anybody that differentiated themselves so much in the community on the same level that he did. So I definitely thought that was a problem. And it also was an issue because he was the one that won that little invitational they did at the VGCs. and managed to win that, really put a positive
Mhm.
spin on the community, and really just handled that moment well. So I didn't really see that there was anybody who could
Yeah.
fill that void. But
Dude, when he took that break, he hit me up and he was like, he was still following people, all the content, right?
right.
All like the situation. And he said he he emphasized the fact that somebody has to be a leader. And then when he said that, I was like, bitch, that was you. Come back.
Right.
That nobody can do what he does for Pokemon Go PvP. So I was like, Zionic might take over. But in the back of my head, I was like, bitch, that was you.
Right.
Come back. And it was really nice when he came back. So
Right. And I mean, I guess it's a little bit hard to say. I mean,
please don't clip that. Please don't send that to him.
I think he would take it in stride.
Close.
One of the things that I think was pushing, that it's hard to gauge where we're at right now, is I think he was pushing like all the big in-person mega tournaments, and kind of like he would appear to try and like give it additional,
Hype.
mojo, if you will, hype.
Yeah.
And so what do you think moving forward in terms of that? Like, I think that maybe one of the things that he might have been over was just like all the travel and all the, just having to be in a bunch of different places for something that ultimately he loved, but it's not necessarily given back that much to him for all the travel he's putting
in. I feel like if there's one person that we really have to take care of, it's King, right? It's King. He is the one pushing Pokemon Go PvP the hardest, right? The hardest, absolute the hardest. If we have this Discord chat where it's just like a bunch of content creators, right? Twitch and YouTube, and he's all about like data. Oh, this month we hit like this many concurrent viewers on Twitch. Oh, that's great. Next month let's try to hit this. He's always like trying to push it forward, right? And so when you say stuff like that, when you say stuff like, oh, he's doing all this and he's not really getting much out of it, right? It makes me feel bad. It makes me feel really bad because he is really, I want to emphasize what you just said. He is pushing it harder than anybody, right? And with the way that with the way the things that went down that made him quit for like a month, right? Man, I felt bad. I feel like I have to be civil with everybody, and I am. I'm a very like open-minded person. I don't know any like the details of what happened, but I felt so bad. I felt like, why? How could you do this to the one dude pushing it so hard? So yeah, I hope that he gets. I hope that he gets something out of it. I feel like his channel is growing at a very steady pace, right? His channel didn't blow up like sticks, like FP sticks and Zionic, but it's definitely like jumped up like a hard solid step, I guess. And I hope that it just keeps going and going. I feel like out of all of the Pokemon Go PvP content creators, nobody can hold a candle to what he's done for the community. So, yeah.
What do you think can happen in terms of what he does, what other people do, in order to kind of move that side of things forward? Because I do kind of feel like there are two separate sides to it, like you say, with the GBL and the Silph stuff. And do you think that all of us content creators need to just like dive into GBL and embrace it and kind of do the Silph stuff on the side? Or do you think that there's room for both in the end?
Dude, that's difficult. That's really difficult. Like my advice, if you want to grow a channel anywhere, right? Twitch, YouTube, it's all about Go Battle League. It's all about Go Battle League. But I feel like there's some certain basic things that you have to learn to make actual good content, right? And when I say good content, it's not just the entertaining value. There's a lot of stuff that you have to like think of. It's a long process, right? to making to get to getting to where you need to be to make good content, right? So just uploading Go Battle League sets isn't enough, I feel, right? Zionic and FP6 and the people who are making like a lot of views from their Go Battle League content has that level, has that level, that thing that you need to actually make good content, and it's very difficult to get into. I don't think we have enough time for me to like elaborate on all of this stuff, but yeah,
You can
if you
just
want
tell
to
me
grow your
everything
YouTube
offline.
channel,
Give me all the secrets.
yeah, if you want to grow your YouTube channel, let's say you have a YouTube, you want to be like Zionic, right? Don't just upload your Go Battle League sets. Really think about your content, like really study it, and you know, yeah.
If you had to
Silph
distill,
Arena content is uh, currently nerfed. Is it gonna go? Is it gonna get any more popular? I feel like all the people doing Silph Arena tournaments watch my stuff. I feel like, and I don't see my channel growing anytime if I just stick to Silph Arena content. So yeah, I hope that answers that.
yeah.
So I don't think that.
What do you attribute that to in terms of the views? Do you attribute that to just the natural state of things and just that GBL is more accessible, or do you attribute it to the algos on YouTube and just it's very difficult for kind of second tier content to see past the first tier?
The thing is, you can't really tell the market what's valuable or what's not, right? The market kind of decides. So I don't think that it's anything about the YouTube algorithm. It's just what people search, right? If people are searching Go Battle League, that's what's gonna get the views. So right now, people aren't interested in Silph Arena content. They're not like I could say I would say that Go Battle League content is searched maybe like 10 times more than Silph Arena content, right? Maybe more. Maybe like 15, 20 times more compared to Silph Arena content. So, yeah, there's a lot of casuals out there. So,
Do you see GBL content getting more interesting from your standpoint or from everyone in our kind of Silph community standpoint moving forward? Do you think that the Premier Cup that they're going to put in Master League is going to be a precursor to proper metas and things that we could really dive more into in terms of strategy and maybe showing six? Or do you think that we're always going to be in kind of a blind threes, hope for the best kind of situation? And I don't mean to diminish anything. Like I think that's kind of how you described it. And we've got King of Charmanders in chat, and I know he was tweeting today about people diminishing the accomplishments of getting to a certain level in GBL, and that's not what I mean at all. But
I saw that tweet though.
But right, but there's definitely like there's a difference between kind of the micro and the macro. It's like when you're doing the individual battle, like there's not necessarily as much strategy going in. You're like, I'm going to use this team of 3, and if I use the same team enough and it's a good team, then the end result's going to be good. Whereas when you're doing Silph, you're more like, what do I pick for this battle? What do I pick to outpick my opponent for the lead on this battle? That sort of thing where you're really thinking about it with every fight. Do you think we'll ever get to that point, or do you think it just has to be like fast paced, jump in, blind threes?
I hope it gets to that point, but I don't really know. I can't confirm anything because nobody knows. I feel like nobody really understands Niantic. So I hope it gets to that point where it's there's like a themed cup per month. That would make it a little bit more spicy. How do I feel about the Go Battle League content? I feel like it's good for what it is, but it doesn't move. It doesn't really move you. So I feel like it could be better.
Yeah. So
yeah.
You, as of right now, you're not really seeing yourself going down that road because it's probably the sort of thing that's gonna bore you even more than the stuff that you already do.
No, I feel like I have to because if I want to grow my channel,
yeah,
I kind of have to make Go Battle League content. That's kind of like why I'm making a Master League team,
right?
Because I have to.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Are you going to tell us anything about what's on your Master League team, or do we have to wait until we see the
No, I
video?
actually don't know anything about Master League because I never had the dust, and I still don't have the dust to make a Master League team. So I'll have to think about it.
Nice.
I'll watch For the Battles videos on Twitter. She's really
Oh
good.
yeah,
So
she definitely is. Um, how has the whole coaching and Patreon thing worked for you? I don't want you to like, you don't need to talk specifics like how much you're making off it or whatever, but like, have
you can
you?
see it. You can see it on Patreon.
Okay, I mean,
It's
have you found it to be? Has it helped you justify what you do and spending so much time on it? Has it been fulfilling, like helping people reach certain goals?
Patreon is really difficult, right? Because I can't really spend more time on like certain people, right? So I give them all the same thing, right? I give them all basically the same service, right? But some people like take what I give them and really push it to the next level. There are like regional champions. There are one of the top people that are my patrons that like they hit me up after they were like it was because of the team that we battled. It was because of the and I'm like dang that's really nice. But there's also people who are like I got 2 wins and 5 losses. I'm still happy. But I wish I could spend more. I wish I could spend more time on it. I really do, but I can't. Right? I I was thinking of making like a higher tier for for more like time spent, but I also don't want to make it. It's a difficult situation with like money and time, and I don't know how to value my own time, right? I don't know how to put a price on it, but I wish I could spend more time on some of my Patreons, really like take them to that level of understanding that the others have, and yeah, push it from there. So I like it. It's a lot of fun, right? It's challenging in its own way. Also, I feel like whenever they win and it's because of something that I did, I feel really happy. But I also have some frustrations with it, like the limitations to my own time, and also, yeah, just the weirdness of time to money type situations.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think that's always a tension for creatives. Like creatives don't tend to like to put a price on the
Ooh.
things that they do. So
Yeah,
it's
actually, one of
difficult.
my patrons just chat.
What?
She's like, I just hate to be a bother,
Oh, Harley.
but
Yeah.
I really like it. I really like it. Like when you send me, it'll take me time to get to your team, for sure. Especially these days, when I put out like a notification, I'm like, yo, send me your teams. It just oh no, there's too much to do in a day,
You get buried
right?
in an
And I'll
avalanche of
get to like
teams.
3 to 5 teams in a day. Plus, I try to spend more time. I try to spend more time. I don't just balance the team. Usually, I do this. Right? I balance the team. I tell them, okay, you have these problems, right? That's it. Figure it out on your own. Right now, I last night I did like if you change this to this, you lose these matches, but you'll gain these matches, hence making your team balanced, right? And then we can work on maximizing it later. But it's difficult because if I spend too much time on one person, the next person is gonna have to wait like 3 days, three
Right.
3 days for me to get to them. It's hard. So yeah, balancing. But I really enjoy it. I if there's anything that I'm confident about right now, it's not my battling skills. It is my coaching skills. I feel like I feel so confident with my skill of making people get better that yeah, I have the Patreon.
Awesome. So, and yeah, if you guys are interested in getting coaching from him, you've probably already seen the links in his Twitter, but definitely hit him up on Patreon. Is it just it's under Battle Hero, right? Yeah, definitely support this guy. This guy's important.
Oh,
What's that?
gesture, not about send me money. Gesture, send me your team. You get it. No, I made a gesture. I was like, "Yo, come here,
Oh.
send it to me, send it to me." I was like, and you were talking about like money, and I was like, "No, no, I don't want to."
Got it.
It's a weird,
Let's
it's a
somebody
weird
clip
thing.
that a really short clip where he
Man, I'm
give me
not good
give
at.
me money,
I'm
give me
really
money.
not good at that.
I'll
With the tiers and the pricing for all the stuff, I had to work with somebody to really like figure it out because I was not confident in doing it. I was actually telling him, should I charge $1? And he's like, damn, what the fuck, bro? Your time is worth more than $1. I'm like, really?
Pretty difficult concept to
Please
grasp.
tell me more. I don't know anything about this. So yes.
Yeah. For somebody who often references the IV dependent matchups in your videos, how hard do you go for like unbelievably good IVs for your Pokemon? Are you the kind who really just won't make stuff unless it has great IVs? What do you do?
I try to go for like rank 50 to 150. I don't try to go lower than that because in Go Battle League I have like a really good Altaria, and in Go Battle League it sucks because I lose the CMP tie all the time. So 50 to 150.
What have been some of your favorite or least favorite Silph metas? And we try, for the purposes of
Ooh.
answering it the first time, to eliminate any considerations of when they change move sets and you had to redo your videos. Like actually the
Oh
metas.
man, I really hate. I that is the worst. I really like Forest. Forest is nice. Solid. I really dislike ones where you have like a Hypno and a Toxic Rogue in the meta. I hate that. Absolutely the worst. Like
Right.
hard counter type situation. Your Pokemon disappearing. I hate that. That is the worst. Um I can't really remember anything that I hated for season 2. What was the one with the B barrel? That was kind of lame.
Ferocious, yeah, Barrel
Or was kind of
and
lame.
Umbreon that everybody complained about not having the last resort one.
Yeah, kind of lame. But that was actually the last tournament that I won for season 2. Just messed up. Yeah, interesting, funny story, right? Um, one of well, the best female battlers here in the Philippines was my last battle for that tournament that I won, and I wanted her to win. So I put like a really a really poopy team. I won because of that. I won because I put like a doo doo team. But I was giving it to her, and in my video, I didn't want to say that. Um, and so I made like a kind of like a stupid excuse that this I was betting on blah 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 blah, but actually I wanted her to win because I didn't care because it was not my weighted cup. So yeah, that's weird.
What do you think of that whole system, the whole weighted, not weighted
Hmm?
thing?
I hate it. I feel like that's not a good system. I feel like Sylph can make it so that they're all weighted and you just average it out. So yeah.
I think you've probably already kind of answered this, but you haven't been doing any cups like under like a just unranked anonymous account or anything just to take advantage of these zero friendship things, have you? You've just been completely
No,
sitting
no,
it
no, no,
out.
no. No, did you see that post about there was this guy who was like people I think found out that he was a flyer, and then he made a new account and like built it up built it up to PvP
Oh
ready,
yeah.
and then Sylph like blocked him from competing still.
Yeah,
Wow,
that's
dude.
Kaiser Niner. He's been on stream. We've thought about approaching that topic directly, but
Feels bad, dude.
yeah,
I feel bad for that guy.
I really would like to get somebody from Silph on to actually kind of talk about the counterpoints to that, just so that
Uh,
we could have a fair
okay.
discussion. But sooner or later, I think we're going to have Kaiser on to interview him with regard to that. Anyway, he's been on for other purposes, but it's kind of an awkward scenario. But I agree that there's definitely a reason why you don't want people spoofing, but there's
Hmm.
also, I mean, the amount of effort that went into that, and the
Dude,
fact that
I can't do that.
he no longer would be able to claim any of the advantages from what he did. Like, I mean, it. There's no real reason in my mind, and I probably shouldn't say this before I have Sylph on, that
Mm.
he doesn't have an advantage anymore. And so, considering that
How
we
do you feel about that though? Do you feel like if a spoofer makes a new account, legit, right?
right.
Builds it up. Do you think he's like forgiven, he or she?
I mean, I'm really I'm trying not to take a hard stand on it, and I really don't have a
Mm-hmm.
hard stand. I have kind of the same stand I have on spoofing in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like I lived in an area where I never really encountered it a whole lot, and most of the people that I encountered that did it were kind of douchebags. And then I moved to another place where I discovered that there was actually like a whole community of people who did it, and they were like, the community embraced them. They called them like air support because they were the ones that enabled them to get raids done in a rural area. And I didn't like it. Like, it offended my sensibilities, but at the end of the day, like, these people were not the same people I'm talking about that were like jerks about it. And so, like, I don't take the hard line that I think spoofers are bad people, but I do not want actual spoof accounts in the same PvP battles that I have, because we all know how much effort goes into, like, you know,
Oh yeah, dude.
into
You have to respect the grind, man.
right. It's like
You
if
have
you
to
take
respect the grind.
right, if you take the grind
Dude,
out and you've got the
I can't keep up with it. I
Yeah.
don't have a Master League team.
Right.
Right? So you have to respect the grind. There is that aspect of Pokemon Go, right? But let's say if one of your friends was found out to be a spoofer, right?
right,
And then that friend just, all right, I'll show you, I'll delete my account right now and I'll make a new account and I'm going to build it up.
right.
Is he or she forgiven?
I feel like there should be a path. I think that the problem with this case, the way we have it right now, is that there was no path to come back. And so he felt like he was kind of damned if you do and damned if you don't. Where he said some people told him make a new account. Other people told him, you know, if you didn't do anything wrong, don't do it, because it's kind of like admitting you did something wrong, and their rules say you can't have two accounts. So I think that Silph should offer, like, I mean, it like an amnesty kind of thing where it just says, like, you know, I'm going to stop using this account. And then maybe after like a waiting period of 6 months to a year, like, you just can come back with a different account. Because I mean, if you're not letting, I mean, they could look at your mons. They could say, did you trade for the mons from your old account? Even if you did, the IVs are probably not going to be worthwhile, because we all know how the rerolls go. And so, yeah, I think it's okay. I think we struggle enough as a community to build these tournaments up and to get people who are passionate about it, that if we don't offer people who make a mistake a chance to, like, rejoin the community, then we're really alienating some people that we can't afford to alienate.
Agree.
Yeah.
I feel like they're forgiven.
Yeah.
You quit, make a new account, right?
Right.
Go walk and catch Pokemon out in the hot sun, or drive if you can drive. We'll be good, okay? Because
Yeah. And I mean,
I'm also not the type of person who would be like, "Oh, you're a spoofer."
right.
I see you're a bad person.
Right.
I'm not really that type of person. But I don't know. Sometimes I feel like whenever I say these things, it's gonna affect, like, some chance of maybe someday having a relationship with Niantic. But I
Right.
also don't really feel like to give up on those principles, right? I don't care, right? If you spoof, okay, that's between you and Niantic.
Right.
Don't PvP me though, because I'm
Exactly.
probably gonna lose. but that's between you and Niantic. I don't get to tell you what to do because I'm not your dad. So, yes.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at as well. And I mean,
Yeah.
I have no idea how Niantic looks at all this stuff. I mean, if you make a statement on it, I think it just is what it is. I always encourage everybody to kind of consider things from all different perspectives in terms of different kind of play styles. Like, don't tell people that they're lame because they like GBL. Don't tell people they're lame because they don't like PvP. Don't tell people they're lame because all they care about are shinies, because ultimately, like, all these different play styles are what makes the game go round. And you would not be able to trade for half the stuff that you want to trade for in PvP if everybody valued it the way that you do. So you just kind of, you know, live and let live. And spoofing is probably the most unfortunate thing that we have as a problem to deal with, but it shouldn't make people think that, like, anybody who's done it is just, like, morally bankrupt or something. Like, that's just not true.
I mean, I'm not gonna fight you because I'd most likely lose. So, you know, we're good.
Oh,
We're good.
man. peace and harmony on the Jiggly stream. That's what I always promote. Um, so cycling back to, you said that it would take way too long to give people all of your thoughts on how to make good content. But if you had to give somebody who is like new to the content creation thing just one or two tips, or just new to YouTube, like what are the things that you think you could tell them that would be valuable to learn, so they don't have to learn it the hard way?
Something that I want to see from all the Pokemon Go PvP content creators is, I want you to tell me your story. That's very important for every, like, your branding, right? Who are you? What do you do? Right? Why did you get into PvP? What is it to you? What does it mean? What do you believe in? Do you spoof? What do you feel about spoofing? You know? Like, tell me who you are. All right? Because just saying something like that, right? Like, just what we just talked about right now, right? That I don't really care if you spoof. I'm not gonna fight you. You're not an enemy. Okay, that's between you and Niantic. Just don't fight me in PvP. Also, don't fight me in real life, right? That's something that I believe in, and I feel like more people should make content like that, because that's entertaining. That's interesting. People care about who you are, right? But also, don't make that the focus of your content, right? Don't make that the focus of your content, because that's just too much to make a video every day about who you are. That's a little bit. That's too much.
A little
That's
bit of
too much.
navel gazing.
But people do want to know who you are, right? People do want to see your dogs. People do want to see your friends that you grind with, right? Little bit here and there is nice. So that's one, right? The other thing is, loosen up. This, like, I noticed that this is a common theme for Pokemon Go PvPers, content creators. You're too smart, dude. You guys are way too technical. Chill. Relax, dude. Can you explain it to me in normal human terms? Can we talk about this not in numbers, you know? Relax, dude. Sometimes I watch who's really super duper technical. Well, anyways, I don't want to call out anybody. I don't want to call out anybody, but you know, I like it when it's not too technical. You do add some technical, but you emphasize the important points, right? Emphasize that. Do something else after, right? Let's not talk about it. And also, don't just say what you're. I also noticed that a lot of people are like, they commentate exactly what happens on the screen, right? Exactly what I can turn off the video, go watch some anime, and just listen to what they're saying, and basically get the gist of the whole battle, right? Don't tell me what's happening on the screen. Tell me what you were thinking at the time, right? Tell me how you were feeling at the time. That's a little bit more entertaining, right? Compared to just, oh, so, I got farmed down by the Altaria. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Dragon Breaths, and I'm dead. That's really, really boring. Really boring. But tell me, like, what were you thinking at the time? Like, what were you feeling at the time? When you lost, did you get disheartened, right? When you saw your rank go down, how did it feel? That type of thing. Tell me what you think about the elo system. Tell me what you think about the matchmaking system. That makes really good content. Much better content than just, I threw the charge attack, I got a great.
Right.
Oh, he shielded. Dang. That was the little bit of personality you got. Dang.
So obviously, most of us would.
Oh man.
Most of us would benefit.
In your chat are savage, dude.
Oh, I know. Believe me,
Lord.
they are. We call them the Riot Squad for a reason. So obviously, we would all benefit both as a community and as content creators if this were to be truly like an esport or something to that extent. But is there anything right now that actually like gets you excited about PvP? Like, do you get excited to watch particular people battle? Do you get excited?
Oh.
Do you get excited about hero, a Valor Ash, or a
I do.
Wild Susan Boyle, or like what's your speed
for
of,
the battles?
For the battles is your speed?
I really like her shit on Twitter. Yup.
Yeah.
Is good, right? And it's explained in a very chill way too. It's not too technical. I like it. I like it because I'm simple-minded like that. Who do I get really excited to watch? I get really excited to watch King's streams, but I can't stay for like the whole 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
Usually like uploads the whole stream, right? I can't stay for like the whole 2 hours, but I really like the coaching thing that he does. But also, I feel like it could be done in a better way because with coaching in GBL, it's kind of just they're just telling you what to do. Okay, shield that. All right, and then swap to
Right.
Azu, something like that, right? It's kind of I feel like it could be done in a better way, right? Um, but that's for Go Battle content. For Silph content, well, nobody makes Silph content, so like, um, yeah, I get excited watching certain battlers, especially if they're like super high rank. But I feel like the people who are super high rank are also kind of robotic in a certain way, because sometimes when I watch stuff from really high level battlers, all they can really talk about is the technical stuff. So I feel like it could be done better, but I like watching the plays, right? I like it. It's next level. So yeah,
What do
that's
you
kind of how I feel about that.
do you have any opinions on like the team formats that people are starting to experiment with in terms of like the Go Stadium team competition, and you've got the Arkansas
I have no
PvP
idea what that is.
battles? Okay. What do you think about that as an idea in general? Like, do you like the idea of making it into a team thing, which I think would be more similar to other esports, or do you think that keeping it more of an individual thing is a better way to go?
I feel like if they're gonna make it a team thing, right, like a team preview thing, like a Silph Arena type situation for Go Battle League, they have to set restrictions, because if they make it open Great League, everybody's gonna have the same six,
Right.
right? Minimal like one change for the last Pokemon, but everybody's gonna have the same six, and that's gonna be boring. So yeah, I feel like they should go down the Silph route, because I feel like Silph had the right idea for PvP.
What
So
about
yeah.
I'm talking
Stop
about
Niantic. How you do it? What?
what about teams from the standpoint of the competitors though? Cuz that's like they've got competitions because of the reduced friendship requirements now where we actually battle as
I
teams.
love that.
And
Keep
so
that.
so
100%.
one of the formats, typically what ends up happening is there's no dupes. And so you have like either 4 or 5 teams that are made up and you can't have duplicates. And so you see a lot more variety in the teams that you use, and there's just a lot more strategy involved in all of that. Do you think that would be a more compelling product, that sort of a format, or do you think that ultimately it's more about like a personality than it is about like a logo or a team or a whatever?
No, I like that. I like that. I really like the but the personality is really important as well. Really important. That's definitely part of branding, right? A lot of esports teams they highlight like personality more than, well, they highlight the achievements as well for sure, right? But personality, because that is something that people can latch onto, right? Oh, this person's not a robot. He's really good at PvP, but he's also a person, right? He eats pizza while he plays and gets his controller dirty. So that's a thing, right? Um, how do I feel about that for Go Battle League? I guess
Well,
I like the reduced friendship. That's really nice. I feel like they should have a practice mode, and a lot of people hit me back on this on Twitter. They're like, the servers can't handle it. The servers can't. Most people who play competitive gaming practice like hours just trying to get better, right? It's just, can I flick the snipe faster than I can by 0.0001 second? It's just a constant grind to getting better, right? And for Pokemon Go PvP to be like this, where you only have like a certain amount per day that you can play, and then you're limited to that, it's not gonna take it to the next level. If we have a practice, random matching type situation, I feel like people will get so much better. It's gonna push the skill gap, the skill that you need so much higher. And that's actually exciting. If you see people doing some insane things, that's gonna make it a lot more hype. So yeah, but yes, that's it.
What do you think about the various iterations of PvP when they keep making changes to the game, which results in different bugs, different weird game mechanics, like
Oh
when
man.
we had QSA and now we've got the blind swaps and stuff like that. Like, where do you what do you think about all of that, and just like how can we? I don't even know. I think that the question I always want to know the answer to is what is the ideal kind of setup? Like, what things do they need to fix, and what things might they need to bring back to give us a system that's more compelling. It's still got some skill where you can do the fast swaps, but you're not doing these super secret handshakes like QSA.
Mm.
I mean, did you think QSA was a valuable thing to be in the game, or did you think it was kind of a secret society handshake kind of thing? Do you know what
I
I'm?
feel like things like that need to exist for there to be like a higher skill for you to succeed, right? There has to be something that separates people who know stuff and people who don't, right? I feel like there should be more. They should make the game more complex. I don't know. I feel like they should make the game more complex. The thing, the to answer your question, what do I feel about all the mistakes that they make for PvP? I find it hilarious. You know, so many people get angry on Twitter. It is the best. I love it when Niantic puts out an update and something is broken. It is so funny to me. I really, really, I find it so entertaining on Twitter. You know,
So
um,
you're just in it for the lulls.
no, I find yeah, well, yeah. I find it really funny though, but you know, it affects the game. It does, but that's kind of like how Niantic is. They're so derpy. I, Again, I don't understand them. You know, they have a system that works. Let's break it a little bit. Let's break it a little bit so they make a mess on Twitter or something. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like they they should try to focus on improving it instead of doing this. But because they're derpy and I don't have any control of what they do, I just find it entertaining. So yeah.
Do you have any connection to Pokemon outside of Pokemon Go? Did you have like any like in your childhood? Did you have much Pokemon going on? Do you watch a lot of Pokemon anime? Do you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I I I love uh I love the games. And before my life became really serious, but I was all about Pokemon. I love Pokemon. And anime didn't really watch the whole thing. I feel like I watched the first season and I it kind of just dropped off after that. So yeah, I try to watch the new stuff, but the new stuff is too. I feel like it's because I'm too old for that stuff. It's just
Right.
too vanilla for me. It's they gotta make better Pokemon content. You know, they gotta make My Hero Academia Pokemon anime. You know, something like that. Something that really like, oh yeah. You know, do you watch anime?
Not much recently. There's a reason I'm JigglyDad. I've got a couple of kids, and I don't have as much
Yeah,
time
yeah,
to
okay.
watch that
You
stuff
don't
as
have,
I would like to. But
bro.
you know, back
Some
in the
of the
day,
anime I love anime because and I watch it without the English
right?
translate the dubs, right?
The dubs, yeah,
Because the voice actors for the Japanese
much better.
the Japanese voice actors are so expressive and I really
Right.
feel there's a lot of like intense stuff and I want to make content like that. That's difficult though because you know how do you make content like that? It's too much. It's like it's a lot of work, right? It takes a team to do that. But yeah, I want to make something that really moves people, something that people will go on Twitter and like that was mind blowing, you know. So
Definitely.
yeah, that's the challenge.
So, do you have any favorite Pokemon from just other things that has nothing to do with just like how well they do in PvP that are your favorites?
I really like Tyranitar, but it's decent in some Silph Arena Cups. Tyranitar, yeah, I really like that. I really like um Dunsparce. which is
Hey.
interesting because I found that Scrub Lord Dustin also really likes Dunsparce.
Can you do as good of an impression though?
No, I can't.
No.
I can't. That dude's funny.
Oh yeah.
That dude is so funny. I I mean, I feel like I'm so mean to J Farm whenever I go watch his videos because my comments are always about, oh, Scrub Lord Dustin like killed me again. But yeah,
Maybe you
I
could
find that guy super funny.
maybe you could steal Scrublord away from J Farm. You could have like a
No,
duo.
no,
No.
no, no, no. I can't do that. Allegedly, they're dating, so I don't want to
Yeah.
break up the.
Understood. Oh man.
um, yeah, I have a lot of picks that aren't really uh PvP Pokemon. So yeah, but I mean, I feel like everybody does, right?
And what are the ones that you actually are your favorites to use in battle, but they regardless of whether you really care for the Pokemon?
Oh no, 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 no. When it comes to battle, I'm all about coverage. How does it do? How hard does it counter things? How does it do as a safe swap? It's all like technical. So yeah.
You don't have any favorites that you come back to all the time, aside from just the obvious like Altaria and Azu, like just like ones that you particularly feel comfortable with?
Swampert. I really like Swampert. Yep.
Swampert.
Yeah, but I used to make like Reddit threads where I would get people to roast my teams and it would be like, "All right, all right guys, no feelings. Go ahead. Rip one." So yeah. I don't really care that much about sentimental value when it comes to battling. It's really more like, can I win with this? That type of thing.
I'm trying to remember. Was that kind of like one of your original marketing things that you would post you posted your Reddit links and you just kind of
I did. I used
yeah.
to, but but some like something happens on Reddit. Um, if you put, I'm not sure if it's uh, I don't know if it happens now, but if you post like videos, it auto removes it, and then you have to
Oh,
get a moderator to like approve it.
right.
And because I live in a different time zone than you guys,
Yeah.
it'll take like hours. So yeah.
What are some of the ways that you say you live in a different time zone? Obviously, we had
Mm-hmm.
to. It worked out okay for the two of our schedules eventually, but how do you find the being on the other side of the world thing from we Americans that are probably a large chunk of your audience? Do you
Mm-hmm.
think that that's an advantage, a disadvantage? Do you find it to be both in terms of putting out content?
I was actually thinking of like changing my upload schedule to match your waking schedule, right? But I don't know. I think that that's an advantage. I feel like a good amount of people from here also watch me, right? I think it's like 50, 35, and then like 15 from I don't know, various places, but 50% like um from America, I would say. So 35 like Asian. Um, do I think that it's an advantage? I don't think so. I think it's with YouTube. It's all about volume, right? More search, plus more clicks, plus more watch time is better. So just more is better. It doesn't matter like what nationality or from where you come from. So
You know, okay, so I was just thinking it's probably more so for the vloggers. The vloggers, a lot of the times, I think that they post things at unusual hours just so that they can have them up by the time people like click on them the next day so that the information's not stale. But your
yeah,
information probably doesn't quote go stale as quickly unless they change the move
yeah,
sets.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Mine is good until they they release a new update, and then it gets stale, and then I have to do it again. So yeah.
What was the most painful thing Niantic's ever done to you in terms of wiping out your effort?
Timeless Cup. Timeless Cup. Kingdra Octazuka
Right.
was so bad. Kingdra Octazuka plus I think it was Fell Stinger. Yeah, that like my whole meta simplified guide was completely useless after. So yeah.
How do you feel in general? You said that you don't really like the folks that get way too much into the numbers and technical and
Mm-hmm.
counting moves. I mean, I'm sure you don't mind them counting moves, but if that's all they're talking about, it gets kind of boring. So, how do you feel about the buffing, debuffing moves, and just like the random nature of them? Do you think that that's good for the game? Do you like playing with those kind of mons or not? I know that you had your statement on Octozuka, which you're free to repeat, and I think is about where I would fall. But in general,
I think it's okay to get into the numbers. It's fine. It's fine to get into the numbers. It's fine to get into all the nerdy stuff. But when you're presenting it as content, make it entertaining, right? Make it entertaining. How do I feel about move buffing, move debuffing? It's fine. It's great. I like it. Mantine. Uh, Dugong. Yes, very nice.
do you have a dugong, a
No,
legacy
I
dugong?
don't.
No.
You want to trade me one?
I don't.
No,
I only have
I
one
don't.
that's halfway. I have an ice shard that I could make, but
Yeah.
haven't decided yet. Let's see. Is there anything outside of PvP in this game that like truly interests you other than just the fact
No,
that it gets you to go
not
outside and grind a little bit? But
no.
I mean, is it pretty much
Maybe the friendships that you make, but that's outside of the game, right?
right?
Really outside of the game. But raiding, super boring
Yeah,
for me, right?
yeah.
I can't watch. I used to really enjoy Pokemon vlogs, but I can't watch it anymore. It's so boring. Um, I wanted to make a actually one of the plans that I had for making like next level content was um a video that would say that Pokemon Go is boring, and it would be just videos of people tapping their phones, just tapping their phones, and it would kind of be like a letter to Niantic saying that I want more type of thing. I want more type of thing. So yeah, because I find the vanilla gameplay to be so stale, so
Right.
boring, so repetitive. You throw the ball, it's ingrained into my soul. How you throw the ball with the curve now, right? How you get an excellent throw. It's there because I've done it so many times. Do I want to keep doing it? No. Do I need to do it? Yeah. Do I need the? It's because of the dust, right? I need the dust.
Right.
Dang, that's rough.
We've already
Are
kind
there
of.
more
Oh
enjoyable? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I have been playing like other games on my phone because I can't play Pokemon. Like I can catch like three Pokemon every 30 minutes, right? Sponsor 30 minutes, right? 45 minutes. Yeah, that's it. And then spin the stop and then like out, right?
We need
So
to
I've been
get you
playing
on
other
Open
games.
Street Maps.
Man, I've been playing this like gacha anime waifu collector game. It's so entertaining, dude.
Oh,
The gameplay was so nice because their focus isn't really the oh you're outside and it's the Pokemon world type thing. No, their focus is gotta make this game entertaining, gotta make this game interesting, right? So the story was really good and I found it really entertaining. For Pokemon Go, for the vanilla gameplay, oh dude, I find it so boring. PvP I feel is the only thing that really, has some spice.
we've already kind of tangentially talked about how the PvP, the Pokemon Go community is so good. I mean, certainly coming from you streaming other games, you have at least some frame of reference there. Like, is there any
Mhm.
way that you can kind of quantify or describe the difference between this community and some of the other communities you've experienced?
There's some communities out there that are like they seem very nice, right? They seem very nice, but there's like a looming toxicity that's there, like a weird pressure that it's weird, right? There are other communities that are just outright toxic, right? They're like, oh, you're garbage. Manly voice, manly voice. You're garbage, you're trash, right? Yeah. And the Pokemon Go community has some toxicity, right? There's definitely some moments where I'm like, yikes. But most of like I would say 99.9% of the time, it's friggin' awesome. They're super nice. Cannot ask for a better community.
I think that you were one of the first people that I saw that was really shouting out the girls at PvP, and that's
Mm-hmm.
we had Cochino Mom on a
Uh,
couple weeks ago, and that's obviously been a big thing. What was what was kind of the motivation for you to do that? Was it mostly just, I mean, did you know certain people in the community? Was it for the battles? Was it other people? Was it more just kind of trying to grow the community? What was your connection to that?
I didn't know any of them when that whole thing started, right? But I thought it was a good idea. I just thought, oh, they want to make it comfy for female battlers to speak up. I'm like, all right, that's a good idea. All right, retweet. That's it. That's it. It's just like a good. This is a good idea. Okay,
What
retweet.
what's the participation level like in the Philippines in terms of females? You said that you had at
Female
least one
battlers.
that was extremely good, but
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Ginny is so good. Um, I would say that out of the maybe like 100 people that I know that PvP, there's like three that are female, and I wish there were more. I wish there were more.
one of the other things you commented on in your video was the thing about your loyalty to the Silph meta and just kind of like, you just kind of feel like it's what gave you or put you where you are. And so you feel like you have to stay loyal to the community for whatever reason.
Hmm.
Like what more can you say it's important, but it's stale and dead inside content. Like what can we all do to make it more engaging, do you think, to
I
make
don't know. I really don't. That is the challenge right now, right? I want to make something that really moves people, right? Not just that. Oh, that was a nice video. I want to make something that would make you, I don't know, vomit with how much you laugh, or like I don't know, something that would make you really push, like move you. Like there's stuff that I really like from other content creators, and also some like music stuff like live performances. Sometimes I watch and I'm like, damn, shit, that was intense,
right?
right? I want to make something like that, and that's the challenge. Is there something that the other Pokemon creator are they like? I don't know. That's my current like trying to figure out type thing. So I don't know.
So if anybody is watching this, obviously you say the community has generally been very good to you, but what else can the community do other than just smash that like and ding that notification bell
Ooh,
to help
support.
you help the community in general, the content creators in general?
Hmm. I hope that you you really help people by tweeting out. This is like the big thing, right? Twitter, tweeting out their content. That is a massive thing, right? That is really big for Pokemon Go PvP, right? If you have a private account right now, if you have a personal account for your Twitter, and you don't want people following to see that you're retweeting these things, right? If you're like a closeted nerd, all right, if you're a closeted nerd and you don't want people seeing these things, please make another account and do that, because that really helps, right? Not just my content, like streams whenever they start up, also other YouTube videos. Also, whenever the bigger content creators are making PvP content, hit it, like hit it super hard, like views, likes, comments, right? Make it like big on, well, currently it's pretty big on YouTube, right? But make it rewarding for them to make content like that. If you want more, and the thing is, the Pokemon Go PvP community is very thirsty for content, right? Very thirsty. If you want more PvP content, and from people that you might who might have a bigger impact, right? From Nick, from Holly, from, well, actually Holly has her account hacked right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks. Zoe, Mystic Seven. I feel like these people are anxious, like they're scared to get into PvP because they might be judged and stuff like that. Be as positive as you can on their videos, as positive as you can, right? Because I feel like if you want um if you want real force to move this thing into the spot where it needs to become an esport, you need their help, right? Because these are like pillars, these are monuments for the game, right? And if you wanted to get there, we have to get their help. Okay, so be super super supportive when it comes to their content. Don't call them trash. I've seen a bunch of people ask Mystic Seven what typing is weak to what typing on
Right.
Twitter. That's
Right.
not the way we want to be, right? That's
Right.
definitely not the way we want to be. We want to, you know, be supportive, and we also want it to be rewarding for them because they're this is kind of like their job, right? This is kind of, they have to focus on what gets the views. If you want more people making PvP content, you have to support it, and that's a team effort, guys, right?
Have
So
you
yeah,
have you had conversations with any of those people? Like, what do you think it would take to get some of those people to do more streaming
comments
of
though.
PvP as opposed to a lot of Animal
Oh,
Crossing, which is what I'm seeing from
dude,
almost all the people you're describing, and I
I
assume it's just
really
where the
wish
numbers are.
I wish they would do that though. I really wish, but I feel like their focus is Animal Crossing because it's not hard to make content out of that, and it's a different community which might blow up. It's a new game, right? So I don't know, but
Yeah.
I really wish, I hope that they put time into PvP because I feel like a lot of them have so much potential. Like JT Gilly,
Right.
I feel like he's low key really good at PvP.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that guy has skills.
I mean,
And well,
probably one of the
yeah.
only people I've seen from the YouTube world that's really seemed to kind of hit the PvP stuff hard has been Dark Matter Wolf, and
Hmm.
most of the other YouTube people, they really don't seem to want
But he's
to.
still he's a really a PvP guy. I watched his breakdown on Mystic 7. I thought that was very entertaining. I want to make content like that. That was very entertaining to me. That was very I want to hopefully someday I get chance to follow King around. That would be amazing. Oh my god, if I could follow King, god, just film him the whole day. This is what that would be so entertaining for me. I don't know. I feel like that would be entertaining. Or who else is kind of crazy in PvP in Pokemon Go? Quinby. I want to
Oh,
follow Quinby
jeez.
around.
Yeah,
Film him.
he's
Just
he's
film
a
him.
little
I feel
controversial
like
today.
no. The thing is, he's very controversial. But before the whole sandwich kitchen thing happened, right? I thought he was a pretty nice guy. I was on one of the streams. Well, I was just watching, right? Um, for Taco Truck, and
Yeah.
he was on there, and then
Yeah.
I thought it was really nice, and then all that stuff happened, and I was like, I need to separate from this guy, but I didn't think that he was a bad dude at the time. But it's interesting. He's just interesting. I don't
Yeah.
know. He's just interesting.
Yeah. And people in the chat are talking about like Trainer Tips got coached by King, and I
Oh
know
yeah, I
I
saw
know
that.
that
That was great.
I know
That was great.
Zoe got coached by. I'm trying to remember who Zoe got coached by, but I mean everybody's kind of made like these little dip your toe in the water things. But I would just love to see one of them at least like even one day a week where they were just doing it,
They're not gonna do that.
streaming
They're
it.
not
But
gonna
it's
do that
just
because it doesn't get the views, right?
yeah,
It doesn't get the views.
yeah,
For them,
right,
right? So if ever you see them like pull up a PvP thing, anything, right? Hit it super
right.
hard as you can. Tweet it out. Just do everything that you can because I feel like that is the best way to grow PvP with the more casual crowd, right? With the more casual crowd.
Yeah. Uh, so who in the community has been like the biggest influence on you? I mean, outside of King, I assume has been a big one, but who
Mm-hmm.
else has been like a big person that you talk with, somebody that you try and emulate?
I don't really get to talk with the PvP people that much because of the time difference, but they've all been great. Zionic is super helpful. Like I ask him questions sometimes.
And what are some good hashtags to use on your YouTube and Twitter content that's effective for more exposure?
Ooh, we can talk about that. We can. I've been doing this experiment where I don't load my videos with tags. I've only been uploading videos with 5 tags, just 5 tags, right? So just Forest Cup, like whatever shows up in the search bar when you type Pokemon Go PvP or like Forest Cup, just the 5, the top. most search. I also have like a way to measure the volume of search, but you don't have to go into it that hard, right? But 5 tags, just 5, and it works out better than having 30 tags. So yeah, just 5 tags.
So just kind of
Keep it simple like that.
follow the trends, and the autocomplete will guide you to the right ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what do I have on mine right now? I think it's like Pokemon Go PvP, Pokemon Go Silph, no, Pokemon Go Forest Cup, and then Forest Cup, and then just 5 tags. That's it. And then what else? Have hashtags in your description, right? And then copy the ones from other creators, because what you want to do is you want to rank against their videos so that you're suggested against them, right? That type of thing. And then look at your audience retention graphs. If you see it dip down, review that part of the video, find out what you said that turned people off, and then don't do that. So yeah.
Don't do that.
Or maybe you were talking too long. Maybe you have to have like a jump cut right there. That type of thing.
Yeah.
Focus on that. Keeping people on your content for longer is really, really important, right? Getting the click and then keeping people on your content is super important. That is the most important thing. That's also how you know that you have good content. Okay? So take notes.
Do you have anything that you drink on the regular, either as your PvP beverage of choice or to keep you up late at nights when you're editing?
Coffee.
Just straight coffee.
Coffee. Instant coffee. That's it.
What kind of goals do you have beyond just the elevating your content thing? Like, do you have a desire to get back into competing? You said you regretted walking away from that. Do you have any goals on that front?
Yes, I'm definitely gonna come back. Season 3. All right, but well, right now, short-term goals, maybe get to actually playing Go Battle League like more seriously. Maybe try to push for like rank 10, because I whenever I play now, I just feel like, hey, gotta make a video about this, and that's about it. But I don't really like try to push for higher ranks. And also, what else? I guess get back into Silph PvP. So short term,
What about
if there is a season 3.
yeah, if there is a season 3? You never actually, have you been to any of the live events, the Go Fest, the Safari Zones? Is that like
No, I've never been.
Do you have intentions of doing that once it's possible to do that again, or is
Sure,
that not really?
but it is very, very hard to get a visa. So super hard.
American specifically, or anywhere?
Yes.
And is there something to do with the Philippines that makes that the case, or is it just in general it's hard to do?
I don't know. I honestly
You don't know.
Would you have I don't know.
I don't have any connections. No, I guess I do know an immigration lawyer or two, but I don't know any of their secrets.
Secrets.
Let's see. Do you have any Forest Cup mons that you think, you've obviously done a bunch of deep dives and such, but any that you particularly like at the get-go, or once we get the new moveset changes?
Moveset changes?
Well, the ones they already announced.
Oh.
The slow roll, the wild charge, and the drill run, and I think
what do
Moon
I
Blast.
really like?
If you were,
I just
if you
really
were
like that
making a
core that
team.
we talked about.
Okay.
I like Ampharos, Blaziken, and Quagsire, and then Azumarill instead of Mantine on your team. Yeah,
Good.
those 4. Yeah. Yeah, you want those 4. You want those 4 for sure. No, together because
All 4.
they synergize really well.
Right.
So yeah.
Going along with what we talked about with the regionals, do you think at this point in time it's a good idea to hold an event, those continentals for the year, remotely, or do you think that it's kind of an empty experience if it's all remote and nobody's there to experience the hype?
I hope they do it, and I hope that they manly voice. I hope that they do it, and I hope that they stream it on King's channel. I hope that they, yes.
These are these are viewer questions. Some of them are sillier than others, so don't judge me.
Hit me.
We have if you could have an in real life Pokemon buddy, who would you pick and why?
Ooh, this is.
And while you think about it, you can tell me whether you hate the buddy system or not.
Dragonite.
Dragonite.
Mm-hmm.
Because
and I would just fly around.
Because of Scrublord's imitation, or what?
Oh my god, no. No. Just because I feel like it's the only, because it's huge. Have you seen it in the anime? It's gigantic, right? Massive Pokemon. So I feel like it's safer to ride on it to fly around. So yeah.
What is the Pokemon you hate to see on other people's teams when you are battling?
Hate to see on other people's teams. Shiftry. I really hate Shiftry. But I also really like, but I hate it. For Go Battle League, yeah, I mean Shiftry for Go Battle League, and then for Forest Cup, I just don't like getting farmed down. Ferrothorn farmed down by Blaziken. That's it. But I mean, Blaziken's cool. I don't really hate any single Pokemon, but Shiftry for Go Battle League, I hate that thing.
We won't start any feud between you and Caleb Pang. I know a lot of people like to curse Caleb over making that team. Harley wants to know how you take your coffee. I take that as an offer. She's gonna start getting some delivered to you, but
instant coffee.
Instant coffee. Cold?
That's it.
Holy cow. That's
because it's super hot where I live. So,
that's
true. If I drink
so like the iced coffee. Got it. No, this is a really out there question, but I do believe I remember this video. Whatever happened to that oil wrestling match with John Hankey?
I don't know. I guess he chickened out.
Several questions from Casey. I assume you know who Casey is. I think she's one of your patrons.
I know.
Yeah. She wants to know when you're gonna send
Funniest.
when you're gonna send the hand pick.
Hand pick? What do you mean hand pick? Hand pick. Okay, I get
it. I take it that's not an answerable question, right?
Next question, please.
What's your favorite planet? She wants to know.
My favorite planet?
I don't know. It's
Earth.
Good call. Is there a Pokemon that gives you the most PTSD to fight, as opposed to just?
I hate Hypno versus Toxicroak. I hate Hypno versus that matchup. I hate it. It's the worst.
Who is the toughest battler that you have had to fight in a tournament?
For the battles. Oh no, in a tournament. My best friend. And we always get paired up. And it's always tough.
And so outside of a tournament, you're going on the record that For the Battles is it?
For the Battles.
For the Battles.
Hands
I don't know if she's still in chat, but shout out to For the Battles.
We did when we hit I haven't like battled her since, right? Because I was traumatized. No, but time difference. We did a thing for I forget what cup it was. But we battled, we just battled. And I couldn't beat her. I could not beat her. I had the lead, I had the swap pin, I would still lose. Right? It's
that internet.
She's just so good.
It's that internet.
She's so good, dude. No. It's not even like that. She's just so good.
Yeah.
So good.
So like you said, very low key too. It's like she's so good, but like it's not even a thing for her. She's just
Internet. No, I mean the internet wasn't even.
Yeah.
It wasn't a problem then.
Right.
She's just so good.
So when you say that your internet's bad, do you attribute that to really it's just a lot of what we've all experienced with we call it the Go Battle lag. So it's probably not so much your actual internet. It's just like your own personal experience with the way the game is now.
I don't know. I feel like it's part because my internet sucks. Also part because the servers I guess suck as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, not sure.
This is a question that I'm required to ask during all of my interviews, and I still don't think I've gotten a satisfactory answer to it. Have you seen the 2019 version of Little Women?
No, I'm not a cultured person. I'm not a cultured person, so. Mm-hmm.
And do you know anyone who can help me get sponsored by Mio?
No, I have no idea how to get any. No idea.
So anything else that is coming up on that we should look forward to from you? Do you have any videos that are coming out that you can give us a peek on?
Well, I want to do a Go Battle League Let's Play. It's gonna be every single battle that I have moving forward for Go Battle Season 2, and it's gonna have. Sometimes it's gonna be like live commentary. Other times it's gonna be strats. Other times it's just gonna be me talking about how I feel about certain things in the game or like certain topics. So yeah.
Well, that is all that I have got for you. Anything else you wanted to leave the people with?
No, but I really enjoyed the interview.
As
This
did
was
I.
great. I get a lot of messages, right? And I don't reply to all of them. But when I saw your name, and I was like, I, I laughed immediately. I was like, JigglyDad. Click. What's up? I also kind of made it my goal to be more part of the community with other people's content. So if anybody else wants to invite me, sure, we can talk about it.
Take care, sir. It's been a pleasure.
I did.
Thanks for watching. Find all my archived interviews here on YouTube and my live interviews at twitch.tv/JigglyDad. Find out about upcoming interviews, ask questions of my guests, and everything else Jiggly at JigglyDad on Twitter. Sorry, somebody in chat says that I, without the glasses, look like I'm about to drop a remix. I don't know what that means.
Nah, dude. You look like well, rapper for sure. Rapper.
All right.
Jiggly